The Chicago Bears are playing a highly dangerous game with Caleb Williams' future, and it is time to call out the massive gamble that could derail this entire era before it even takes off. Are the Bears genuinely setting up their new franchise quarterback for ultimate success, or are they leaving the back door wide open for defensive disaster? Before we break down this entire roster blueprint, do me a quick favor, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow Bears fans, and subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss our daily Chicago media updates. Let us start with the absolute shocker of the offseason that has the entire media talking. ESPN's Courtney Cronin dropped a massive breakdown detailing the offseason moves of all 4 NFC North squads, and her takeaway on the Chicago front office is a very bitter, frustrating pill to swallow. The organization went from openly acknowledging that their pass rush was a major, crippling liability to essentially declaring that they will just rely on better coaching to fix their glaring issues up front. Is coaching truly going to be enough to fix this team's weakest link, or is that pure management delusion? Head coach Matt Eberflus and general manager Ryan Poles repeatedly preached about creating fierce competition at every single spot on the roster during the spring, but when it came down to the defensive line, and specifically the defensive end position opposite Montez Sweat, they completely fell short of that promise. The Bears did not sign a proven edge rusher in free agency, they did not execute a trade for one, and they did not even use a single asset to draft one. Instead, they are rolling the dice and relying on the unproven likes of Austin Booker, Austin Adienbo, and Shamar Turner to claim that critical starting spot. That is an astronomical gamble for a team with playoff aspirations. Now look, if you want to find a silver lining, Austin Booker showed some serious flashes down the stretch, especially as a natural pass rusher, and maybe you feel okay with him getting a serious opportunity. But realistically, as a young player entering his sophomore season, shouldn't he be your number 3 developmental pass rusher rather than your primary, everyday starter? The real anxiety for the fan base comes from the medical reports and the lack of proven depth. Relying on guys coming off significant injuries to carry your pass rush production is terrifying. To not add a single established, veteran edge rusher to this roster is incredibly disappointing and frustrating for a fan base waiting for a breakthrough. It is true that the current contract structures made a total defensive line overhaul difficult, considering the heavy money tied up in Sweat and previous contracts, but doing virtually nothing except adding minor depth pieces at defensive tackle is simply not enough. High-impact players were sitting out there on the market, yet the front office sat on their hands. This brings us to the ultimate strategic debate that is dividing the entire city right now. Question of the day. Would you rather the Bears heavily invest in Caleb Williams and build a top-5, high-octane offense, or should they have prioritized fixing the edge rush to maintain a dominant, balanced defense? Drop your exact thoughts in the comments below right now. I want to see where you guys stand on this organizational strategy. Because if we look at the other side of the ball, the deliberate moves made to benefit Caleb Williams are undeniable and highly exciting. Even though a massive chunk of future draft capital was spent, the front office immediately pivoted to secure veteran continuity on the offensive line. Right after a sudden retirement shook up the locker room and threatened to ruin the team's offensive rhythm, the front office traded for experienced center Garrett Bradbury to lock down the critical quarterback-center exchange for Williams. They followed that up by drafting Logan Jones, securing the long-term future and stability at the position. Add an exceptional weapon depth like tight end Sam Roush and explosive playmaker Zavon Thomas, and it is clear the ancient era of the Bears trying to win games 13-10 is officially dead and buried. This team is being intentionally built to outscore opponents, putting a massive, dynamic cabinet of weapons at Williams' disposal. While the defense obviously needs to be solid, investing heavily in a modern, high-octane passing offense around a rookie quarterback is absolutely the correct organizational philosophy for the modern NFL. Speaking of under-the-radar moves, everyone needs to wake up to the massive impact Sam Roush is about to have on this offense. ESPN labeled him the most underrated acquisition of the entire Chicago offseason, and the analytical numbers back that claim up perfectly. Chicago utilized multiple tight end sets on over 500 plays last season, ranking among the top 3 heaviest users of heavy personnel in the entire league. Roush steps directly into a crucial blocking role that keeps the offense highly effective in heavy personnel packages, creating massive mismatches in the run game and opening up play-action lanes. But do not let the standard blocking tight end label fool you. This kid has real, authentic juice as a pass catcher. Coming out of Stanford with nearly 50 catches, over 540 yards, and averaging an impressive 11 yards per reception, he possesses strong hands and highly sophisticated route-running ability. He might draw natural comparisons to a young Cole Kmet, but Roush is far from a developmental project. He is going to be significantly more dynamic and effective in the passing game than previous depth options, giving Williams a reliable, standard security blanket over the middle from day one. But all of this offensive excitement brings us right back to the million-dollar question hanging over the entire season. Can the back seven of this defense truly carry the weight for what the team completely lacks up front? Last season, the pass rush ranked near the absolute bottom of the league in terms of natural pressure, yet the defense miraculously led the NFL in takeaways and interceptions. Replicating those historic turnover numbers is going to be a monumental, nearly impossible task if the front four cannot generate natural pressure on third downs. The front office clearly recognized this, prioritizing the secondary by completely remodeling the safety position with dynamic, versatile athletes like Kobe Bryant and Dylan Thieneman, while adding elite speed to the linebacker core with Devin Bush. On paper, this back seven has elite, top 5 potential, but it is also riddled with massive, terrifying what-ifs. Can the secondary stay healthy after an injury-riddled calendar year? If key cornerbacks miss significant time or look inconsistent against elite passing attacks, this defensive backfield will face immense, unsustainable pressure. The linebacker play should inevitably improve with upgraded speed and sideline-to-sideline coverage, meaning the defense as a whole could technically be better structured, but expecting them to constantly bail out a weak pass rush with historic turnover numbers is unrealistic. We won't truly know how this delicate balance shakes out until the regular season football begins, making this upcoming campaign one of the most fascinating and high-stakes seasons in franchise history. When you look at the totality of the offseason, the debate over the single best move comes down to philosophical preference. While many will point to the offensive line additions or the skill position weapons brought in to safeguard Williams, the absolute best move was the strategic overhaul of the safety position. Replacing aging veterans with the dynamic tandem of Kobe Bryant and Dylan Thieneman gives this defense a level of versatility, speed, and disguise capability that they simply did not possess last year. Combined with the added speed at linebacker, the back end of this defense is built to erase mistakes and generate stops even when the front four fails to get home. The front office has made their bet clear. They are banking on an elite, modern offense and a highly athletic, takeaway-driven secondary to carry this franchise into the future. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy that represents a complete departure from traditional Chicago football, and the execution of this vision will determine the ultimate success of the Caleb Williams era.